Hello everyone. Konnichiwa minasan. So today I'm going to be doing my second teaching stream ever. So yeah, just for context, if you guys don't already know, I'm majoring in Japanese and I want to become a teacher. So that's why I guess practicing teaching Japanese through this. And yeah, hopefully I get better and better as time goes on. But as I've said earlier, it's my second time. It's second lesson that I've done on Twitch. So the first lesson, which I'll leave in chat right now. First Japanese lesson. It's a VOD on YouTube. You can go check it out if you want to. It mainly focuses on just the general history of the creation of written Japanese language, but also learning how to write hiragana and the corresponding katakana, and then learning a bit about kanji and what it's about, not necessarily writing in kanji, and then a lot of punctuation too. We learned about that because Japanese punctuation is different from English, English punctuation. Their period looks different. They don't really use exclamation points unless it's on social media, Twitter, something more casual. So yeah, that's what we went over last lesson, which has been a while. And yeah, this time we're going to be learning about aisatsu, which is greetings. So yeah, an ad break is starting pretty soon, so I'll wait a bit before actually starting. So yeah. For my first Japanese lesson, I don't think I did that well. I could have been more structured in it, but I think this lesson, I'm very confident in the materials I've created. I based this lesson on the Genki textbook, Genki Volume 1, Edition 3. Yeah. I'd say Genki textbook is the most popular Japanese textbook, Japanese language textbook. The third edition is the newest one from what I've heard, but I still think there are some things that are quite dated, but it's nothing that I can't learn about afterward. Yeah. The textbooks in general can get dated pretty quickly, so just having online supplements also help a lot in the long run. So, yeah. Okay, so ad break is in progress. Yeah. Just wait a bit before starting. And yeah. Yeah, if you don't this is gonna be a bit hiragana heavy, so if you don't already know hiragana, go check out the last stream I did. I will be putting that into a playlist after I upload this onto YouTube. Oh yeah, and yesterday I did a stream. It was a That's Not My Neighbor stream. So go check that out after this, or if you have the time. And yeah. Also, sorry for being late. I was busy preparing the actual lesson slides and the supplementary Quizlet that I'm planning to give. So if you want more of that, go to my Discord. It's gonna all be in there. Even the slides, Okay, so now ad break is over. I will now start. Okay. Let's see if this all looks good. Okay, it's showing well. Wait, I might actually get in the way of the actual text. So... You know, it's fine. It's fine. Wait. Okay, so... As I said earlier, this lesson is about aisatsu. Aisatsu. So, aisatsu means greetings in Japanese. So we'll be going over all the greetings. Aisatsu is very important for traveling. It is the first few words that anybody learns when they go travel. If you already have knowledge of Japanese, then I'm pretty sure konnichiwa, arigatou gozaimasu. Those are the first two words that pop up into your head. Even as someone who just learns by the ear and doesn't really do actual studying, but we will be going into more aisatsus and a little bit of grammar too. So yeah, first up is tango vocabs. So we're going over all the vocabulary for today. The first one, I wonder if you guys can see it well. I might need to make my PNG slightly smaller. It's fine, but not that. I am kind of big here. Let me just... shrink myself. Then I should be good. Like right here. And of course I will be sharing this on the Discord, so you won't have to worry about if you see it fully or not. You can always check it in the Discord after stream, and I'll be reading everything on the slide, so it doesn't really matter, but visually it's nicer that way. Yeah, first word is ohayo. Ohayo. So ohayo in Japanese is good morning. Or in English, it's good morning. Yeah, for example, this little girl is waking up and her mom's in front of her. And she says, "Kaa-san, ohayo." Which translates to, "Mom, good morning." Okay, and then next word. Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo gozaimasu in English is good morning too, but you could probably see the difference. The gozaimasu at the end. The word before did not have gozaimasu, but this has gozaimasu. So gozaimasu makes ohayo more polite. So in this scenario, the lady over here, you can see a screen behind her saying the day and the temperature. So it is very much a formal setting. Ohayo gozaimasu. 9時ニスの武田真理子と申します。So, and that in English is good morning. I am Takeda Mariko, or Mariko Takeda from 9 o'clock news. So yeah, what I really want to emphasize here is not what's said afterwards in particular, but the meaning of this, the situation that you use this phrasing. So, what does it mean by polite? It means that you are saying this to someone who is not exactly your friend. You're not really used to them. Maybe you're strangers, or maybe they're on a higher status than you. So yeah, that's the difference. I will be going into more of the difference in speech levels of Japanese later on in the future. If I continue this further along, I'll definitely get there at some point. So yeah, in this scenario, see the little girl saying "Ohayo" to her mom. So, in this context, "Ohayo" is used for family, and friends. Family and friends. Then "Ohayo gozaimasu" is everyone else. Everyone outside of that inner circle you have. Next word, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows, is konnichiwa. Konnichiwa, which means good afternoon or good day. Now, I do see people saying, like, translating this as hello, which is also right, but the difference between hello and konnichiwa is konnichiwa has a time frame. Hello it works universally in terms of time. You can say hello at night if you're meeting someone. You can say hello at 12 a.m. if you're meeting them. But konnichiwa, you can't really say that at night. You have to say that when the sun is up. It's not quite morning. It's like afternoon. Noon to afternoon, I'd say. So, konnichiwa. And if you are familiar with hiragana or you have watched my previous hiragana video, you might notice that, hey, this isn't wa, this is ha. But the difference between having the actual wa and then this wa is that the ha is used as a particle in this instance. So particle ha is actually wa, pronunciation wise. It's written like this, but it's read as wa when you're using it as a particle. And in this case, it is a particle. It is a part of a whole word, but if you literally translate like each translate the word, like what it actually is saying. Saying this day is, essentially. So kon means this right now, like this very day. And then nichi refers to day. So konnichi, and then wa. If you guys know kanji, then it's the same kanji as kyo, but pronounced in its Japanese way. Yeah. Konnichiwa is this day is. But nuance-wise, what they're actually trying to tell you is good afternoon. So an example, you see these two kids, they're in classroom and they're saying, "Sensei, konnichiwa." So they're meeting their teacher and saying good afternoon. Next word is konbanwa. Konbanwa. So konbanwa is good evening. And like konnichiwa, it has this ha at the end, but it's particle, so it's pronounced as wa. So yeah. In this instance, it literally means this night is. So kon meaning this now, and then ban meaning night, evening. So this night is, this evening is. Konbanwa, good evening. So for example, you can see they're at this like izakaya pub kind of situation, and they're meeting, and it's evening. They're saying konbanwa to each other. Next one is oyasumi or oyasumi nasai. Oyasumi, oyasumi nasai. In English is good night. Now the difference between oyasumi and oyasumi nasai is one is a bit more casual. Oyasumi is casual, and nasai makes it a bit more formal, but you could also say it to your friends. It's not too formal in that sense. However, oyasumi is way more casual in that sense. Like, oyasumi nasai, you can say that to everyone. Oyasumi is specifically for friends or closer people. And so you can see on the example, she's saying, "Oji-san, oyasumi nasai." So, good night, Grandpa. Or not Grandpa, Uncle. Yeah, because it's longer. Okay. Even I'm getting confused. Oji-san, oyasumi nasai. So, good night, Uncle. Yeah. Now I'm doubting myself. Is it actually? Wait. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, whatever. You know what? I have a sense of principles, so I'm going to actually look this up just in case. Okay, so Oji-san is uncle. Yeah. My correction was right. Oji-san is uncle, so she's saying good night to her uncle. Wait. Never mind. Actually, it does mean grandpa. Okay, I'm so sorry, everyone. I'm so sorry. See, this is what I get for being confident earlier. I shouldn't have been confident. I should have been humble. I'm sorry. Oji-san means grandpa. It means grandfather, not uncle. I'm very sorry. The source I looked at got it confused. But yeah, it's a very subtle difference. It's longer. So maybe it's because I don't actually say Oji-san. I just usually say O-san. And that just means old man. Like middle-aged man. So it's probably why I got it confused. So yeah, she's saying goodnight to her grandpa. Revoke my sensei title. Oh my goodness. This kind of mistake. Anyways, on to the next word. Sayonara. Sayonara. Sayonara means goodbye. And it's not goodbye in the sense of like, oh, I'll see you next time, like, kind of goodbye, but it's more so for a while or forever. So if you're moving to a different country and you're saying goodbye to your friends, you would say sayonara because you're not going to see them for a good while. Or if you're on your deathbed, you would say sayonara to the people around you because you're not going to see them. If you don't believe in the afterlife, you might say forever. If you believe in the afterlife, it's still gonna be a very long time you see them, so yeah. Either way, sayonara is goodbye, but has that sense of longness. So for example, we have an astronaut here, and she's going on a mission to the moon. Or in space. So, saying, うちに行きます。さよなら. Oh, I'm going to space. Goodbye. For the foreseeable future. Now, what if you want to say goodbye, but mean it for a shorter time? Then, what would you say instead? So yeah, what you would say instead is じゃあね or またね, which is bye, see you later. So じゃあ means well then. And then it kind of implies like a next, like 次, じゃあ. So next time, I'll see. And then mata means again. So I'll see you again. Mata ne. So you see in this case, they're very friendly, they're waving, and they're saying じゃあね. Now, じゃあね, mata ne, again, very casual situation where you would only use it towards your friends. Not really towards your family, because your family, there's a different, I guess, like, wording you would use. Also depends on where you're at, but yeah. So the next word, it's 失礼します. 失礼します. So in the case of a greeting in this context, it means I'll be leaving. Like, excuse me, I'll be leaving. 失礼します is also excuse me. Like, excuse me, please move out the way, like shitsureishimasu. But in this context, it just means goodbye, like I'll be leaving. So this is said in a formal context, so when you're talking to your teacher and at office hours and you're saying goodbye to them, or if you're leaving like a work dinner, you're leaving your boss's office, you would say 失礼します. So in this example, this girl over here, she's somewhat of a newbie in the workforce, while she is senpai. She is very well versed in the workforce. She has been there for a long time, and they've had a conversation, and now she is leaving first. So お先に失礼します. So I'll be leaving before you. And it essentially just means goodbye or bye-bye. Next word is ありがとう. ありがとう, which is thanks. So you can see this little girl is giving flowers to her mom, and she's saying in response, ありがとう. And I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this term already. And then the next term is ありがとうございます, which is thank you, but politely. And you can see from our last slide, おはようございます. This ございます is the indicator of politeness. Yeah, you can see. In this case, ございます is there to make ありがとう more polite. So, ありがとうございます. So you can see, he's bowing. So, I memorized this term, but I forgot again. ご清聴ありがとうございます. So, thank you for your attention. Thank you for for caring. So that's why he's being thankful. Oh wait, this says ありがとうございました, which is past tense of ありがとうございます. That does get a bit complicated because in English thank you doesn't really have a tense. But ありがとうございました is for things that have already happened. ありがとうございます is for things that will happen or are happening. So if someone gave you a treat, something like a bit of chocolate, you would say ありがとうございました because you already have it. And then ありがとうございます is if someone says, oh, I'll do that for you, like they're not actually doing something right now, but in the near future they're going to do that said task for you, then you would say ありがとうございます because it didn't really happen yet, but you're still thankful regardless. So yeah. And this one is すみません. すみません. So a lot of you might already know this one too, but this means excuse me or sorry. Or it could also mean thank you in certain contexts too. Like, you're so thankful to the point that you're sorry for burdening them, so you feel like sumimasen, but they also agreed to it, so it's not necessarily something that you should be like super sorry about, but you do feel a bit bad. But in this context, we'll just say, excuse me, sorry. So you can see the schoolgirl is trying to get to class, and there's a lot of people in her way, so she's trying to move through them, and she's saying, sumimasen, 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 excuse me. Next one is iya. So, if you already have knowledge in Japanese, then you would know that this means simply no, but there's also another like implication, which is no, not at all, or no problem. So you can see this guy is gifting someone a present, and they probably said arigato or something like that. And in response, he said, いいえ、気にしないでね. So, basically it means, oh, no, not at all. Like, no problem. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. So yeah, it's a way to say you're welcome in a sense, but a bit more humble. Like, oh yeah, you don't need to thank me. You don't need to thank me. That's why it's いいえ. So yeah, in the context of a greeting, it means no, not at all. No problem. Next term is 行ってきます. 行ってきます. 行ってきます means I'll be leaving, but from home. So it's another way to say bye, but this is to your family. So yeah, you can see this man. He has a suit on with a briefcase, going to work. Saying, 行ってきます. 行ってきます. So this actually comes from 行って、行く, to go, and then 来ます, 来る, to come. So it literally means I'll go and come back. So that's why it's 行ってきます. And this one is いってらっしゃい. いってらっしゃい. So いってらっしゃい is have a good day, or outside the home. So you can see if this was like the prior context of what was happening, in response he's saying いってらっしゃい. いってらっしゃい. So even though it means have a good day, it also means like 行って行く, like to go, and then this らっしゃい comes from like いらっしゃる, which is like the more formal form of like to be, like to exist, to be, for いる. So like いる is like to be somewhere, or like to exist, or like to stay, like to have, like, it's for like people, to like living things. But yeah, いってらっしゃい is like go and, you know, stay out there kind of feeling. But yeah, go and stay out there, like in a good way, not like in a, like go out and have fun, like go out, stay there because you're having fun, not because you're not having fun or something like that. Yeah, いってらっしゃい. Yeah, now the time has passed and he's come back. So yeah, tadaima. Tadaima. So tadaima means I'm back at home. So I'm back home. Tadaima. And then in response, okaeri nasai or okaeri. Now, because this is like for family, there's no real like difference from saying like okaeri to okaeri nasai. I guess like to your parents, if you were a child and your parent comes back, you would say okaeri nasai. But you could also say okaeri as casually, like it doesn't really matter too much because within family it is still like, I guess like not as formal. But I guess if you're talking to your in-laws, maybe you'll say okaeri nasai, because there's still that distance between in-laws. But yeah, okaeri nasai is welcome back home. So this kaeri, kaeru, kaeri comes from kaeru, and kaeru means to go back home, specifically to go back home. So yeah, if you're saying like kaerimasu, you're saying that you're returning home. No, nowhere else but home. Like, you're not gonna say, shigoto ni kaerimasu, because that's not your home. You're gonna go to your work, but you're not going to go back in that sense. Yeah, you can see it. She's waiting, and she's in response to tadaima. She's saying okaeri, okaeri. Next term, which I think you might be familiar with too, especially if you watch a lot of like eating content in Japan. Itadakimasu, itadakimasu, which means I will enjoy this meal. Thank you. Or, if you know French, bon appetit. I don't think I wrote that correctly, but I'm not French, so... You can see here, the boy, he has food in front of him, and hasn't eaten it yet, but getting ready to eat it, so saying, itadakimasu, itadakimasu. This culture does not really exist in America, per se. Like, it doesn't really exist in America, so... Yeah. I don't know about other English-speaking countries. I don't think it exists in, like, English-speaking countries. But I know, like, in France, they say bon appetit. So... Next one is... Gochisou sama deshita. Gochisou sama deshita. Or gochisou-sama. So gochisou-sama is casual, and gochisou-sama deshita is formal, polite. Yeah, I enjoyed the meal. Thank you. So you can see, the same boy has eaten everything clean off of his plate, and he's saying gochisou-sama, gochisou-sama. Next term is hajimemashite. Hajimemashite, which means nice to meet you. However, literally, it translates to it's our first time seeing. So yeah, this hajime comes from hatsu no hajime. So hatsu means like first. If you look at the kanji, it means like the first thing, like the first ever. So hajimemashite implies like it's the first ever time we're meeting, literally, but it is used as nice to meet you. Yeah, you can see these two. You might be getting deja vu, but it's totally a different scenario. Two different men. They're saying hajimemashite because it's their first time meeting each other. And the next term is yoroshiku. Yoroshiku. Which is a doozy because it doesn't really have an English equivalent, and if you wanted to explain every single like nuance that yoroshiku contains, it will be hard to explain it in English. Like you could probably write like a whole like thesis on yoroshiku, like a whole thesis paper, like a dissertation length paper on yoroshiku, because that's just how like complex its meaning is. It's like harder to, because a lot of it is also non-verbal like meanings, like non-verbal feelings that are really hard to convey. Like if you grow up in like an, I wouldn't say Asian setting, but like an East Asian setting, maybe like a Confucian setting, I guess. It's like a concept that's like very familiar, but it's like so hard to like point with like English words. Like, you know, if you say yoroshiku, like, oh yeah, I understand that. But how do I explain it exactly? Like, it's hard to explain in one word, essentially. But yeah, what I basically came up with is, it is a pleasure to work with you. I'm counting on you, and then let's have a good relationship. So it also is a lot of things. There's a lot of like appreciation in it, and like just like excitement of like the future, and like wanting to work together more, and like just like having each other's backs. Like there's a lot to it. But you know, if you use it enough, you'll get a sense for when yoroshiku is used, what situations yoroshiku is used, and like what it's implying. Sometimes it's not as like heavy of a meaning. Sometimes it does have a heavier meaning. Yeah, yoroshiku. So in this example, you see two people, they're meeting, and just A-san is saying, yoroshiku onegai shimasu. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with you. You know, please take care of me, like I will also take care of you, kind of deal. And then she's saying, kochira koso. Kochira koso. So, likewise. Yeah, he's expressing yoroshiku, and then she has the same feelings of yoroshiku. And then the final word is onegai shimasu, which we saw earlier in this sentence, but onegai shimasu. Well, onegai shimasu means please. Please. So in this setting, someone's telling this woman, 犬のお世話をお願いします。犬のお世話をお願いします。So, please take care of my dog, is what this person is saying to her. You see, they sent the dog to her. She's a very trustable, dependable woman when it comes to dogs. No animal abuse in this scenario. So, 犬のお世話をお願いします。Please take care of my dog. Or you can like get rid of the shimasu and make it a noun, like onegai. So onegai is like wishes, wants. But yeah, in this context we're talking about greetings, so onegai shimasu means please. There's also tanomimasu, which is like like a please too, but also something like you're like yeah, tanomimasu means please, but it's a bit intense. It's a bit slightly more intense. Like you would say like tanomimasu to like God or something if you're religious. But yeah, tanomimasu is like a bit more desperate. But also kind of like I'll leave it all up to you kind of meaning. So yeah, that's the last vocab we have. And now we have kaiwa. So we have a conversation going on here. And this is about 自己紹介, which is introduction, self-introduction. 自己 meaning self, and then 紹介 meaning to introduce. Now we have two people, totally different people from last time. This is Tanaka-san on the right, and this is Sumisa-san on the left. So Tanaka-san speaks first. はじめまして。田中と言います。よろしくお願いします。Then you have Smith-san. はじめまして。スミスです。よろしくお願いします。So, as we learned earlier, well, if we dissect this conversation, はじめまして. Nice to meet you. So, it is their first time meeting. And 田中と言います means I am called Tanaka, or you can call me Tanaka. I am Tanaka. And then we learned yoroshiku earlier. It's very complex, but it's a lot of meanings. And then onegaishimasu. So it's kind of just conveying the furtherment of their relationship. And yeah, all that jazz. And then Smith-san also says the same thing, but in this part is what I want you to focus on. Smisu desu. So this des form is something that we are going to be learning about in this lesson. So yeah, Smisu desu means I am Smith. Okay, bunpo, grammar. So, bunke noto, so sentence structure and notes. So, I remember I did not go over this the last time, I believe. If I did, then it's a good review. But unlike English, the base structure of Japanese sentences are subject, object, verb. English is subject, verb, object. But in this case, it's object and verb are flipped. So yeah, for example, if we were using a regular English form, it would be I am walking to the store. But in Japanese, they would say, 私は店に歩きます. Or this is a bit like strict, like katai, like not natural, but it is still grammatically correct. So, 私は店に歩きます. So this essentially conveys I am store to walking. So this I corresponds to watashi, am corresponds to like the wa. Store is mise. To ni walking arukimasu. And the next example, this is my cat. So, well, in Japanese, it would be これは私の猫です. これは私の猫です。So again, 猫 is cat, and です is. So it's also flipped around in that case. And then another thing about Japanese sentences is that they also tend to drop the subject or topic of the sentence if it is obvious through context. So let's say someone asks a very simple question of what do you like? What do you like? In the English form, if you like flowers, you would say I like flowers. But you would never say like flowers. You would never say like flowers because it's not natural. However, in the Japanese form, you say 花が好きです or flowers like. So flowers, hana corresponds to flowers, and 好きです corresponds to like. So flowers like. Again, so it's flipped around. So yeah, earlier in the kaiwa, I told you to focus on this des, right? Sumisu des. So yeah, this is the explanation of des. So it roughly means is, am, are in like majority of contexts, like is, am, are. But there are some exceptions to that. Some exceptions to how des is used. It's a sentence. It's a polite sentence ending in general. But yeah, we have the explanation here. When used with particles wa or ga, it describes states of beings in a polite way. So yeah, the particles are what really like make it like. If you have a sentence with only particle like o in the middle, which is the object particle, and then it ends with des, it's most likely because it's like an add-on to the verb like stem, or like it's like a noun, but it's a noun that's also a verb in this sense. Like it is quite difficult to grasp because like fundamentally English and Japanese are quite different languages. Like nouns in English wouldn't be nouns in Japanese, or like vice versa. Like there's a lot of like confusion on that, but just like memorize it, practice a lot, and you'll get the hang of it. So yeah, this des is used after nouns and adjectives. So I'm talking about Japanese nouns and adjectives. So for example, 好きです 好き. But in English, to like is a verb. You know, to like, right? But 好きis actually an adjective. It's a not adjective. So it's used with des instead of must. So yeah, that can get confusing, but if you just remember 好き as an adjective instead of a verb, then you'll be fine with that. So for example, 山です So it is a mountain. 早いです It is fast. So 早い is adjective, yama is a noun. You add it with des, and it's like a state of being of that particular subject. So if you want to say that is a mountain, you would say それは山です or あれは山です And then if you want to say this is fast, you could say これは早いです or like the train is fast, like 電車が早いです States of being. So I've mentioned it roughly earlier, but x wa y des. So x is y, x am y, x are y. So this wa, pronounced like wa, is a particle indicating the topic of the sentence. So remember what I talked about earlier with konnichiwa and konbanwa? Same kind of particle. So it emphasizes the following statement, word after the particle. In the case of konnichiwa, konbanwa, it's already like been coined as a term, so it's at that point like just like one word. But typically the wa particle, there is sentences or like words that do follow after it, and it emphasizes that. So as we learned in the last slide, this indicates states of being. So for example, watashi wa sensei desu. Watashi wa sensei desu. I am a teacher. So, to make this clearer, emphasize the following statement. In this case, watashi is not important. Sensei desu is important. So, I am a teacher. Not I am a teacher. It's I am a teacher. Teacher is more emphasized. これはリンゴです. Nobody cares about これ. Everybody cares about リンゴ, okay? But this is an apple. So if you want to emphasize the former, you would say が. So 私が先生です. 私が. Like I am a teacher. But yeah, I'll talk more about like the differences between wa and ga like later. I might do an actual like particles kind of lesson after we learn more words and phrases. But yeah, for now, this. So yeah, next one, bunka. So culture. When learning any language, it is important to also learn the culture. So yeah, that's why I added these slides. It's also based on the Genki textbooks too. So yeah, that's why I have this. So first one is ojigi. Ojigi means bowing, to bow. So bowing culture. Japanese people greet each other by bowing. It is definitely like a bowing culture. Yeah, bowing can be used to express gratitude, respect, or apologies. And then there's bowing in the business setting. So typically, if there's a difference in status, the person of lower status bows deeper. And then handshaking is also common, especially because business, it's also an international thing. So it's just a common age for like the Western like folks to shake hands. And then also, after bowing, it is customary to exchange meshi. So meshi is business cards. I'll explain more about like business, like Japanese culture, later. But right now, it's like there's a lot to do with like the meshi like custom. Like there are steps to it. There are things you should do and you shouldn't do. But yeah, I'll explain that like later on in the future. Then another note is the degree of bowing indicates the intensity and the nuance. So, for example, on the bottom here we have the different types of bowing. So you have eishaku, which is 15 degrees. You have keire, which is 30 degrees. Saikeire is 45 degrees. And then shazai, which is 70 degrees. So, as you can see, shazai is for apologies. That's why it's so deep. There's actually more. There's also a 90 degree bow, which is like the most respectful bow you can do when standing up, but it's also like a lot of Yakuza use it, like if they're if they're like meeting their like kumicho, like their boss, they would like bow 90 degrees. It's kind of a culture like that, but yeah. So 70 degrees is for apologies, or you could just be extremely like grateful or like extremely respectful, but most of the time it's for apologies. The most common one and the most like respectful one is like respectful one out of the common ones are 45 degrees. And then 30 degrees, it's kind of like, oh yeah, nice to meet you kind of feel. Or it could be like a quick like thank you kind of bow. Like, and the eishaku is a very quick bow, brief. Like maybe you don't have enough time, but you're like you want to like bow quickly, or yeah, all of these like in their respective contexts like expresses the amount of gratitude, amount of respect, or like the eishaku and keire are not really used for apologizing. Maybe like keire for like kind of like sumimasen, like excuse me. It's like not a big thing to apologize for, but still something like you kind of feel bad about. But yeah. So yeah, I think okay, one more slide is aisatsu to jikan. So greetings and time. So this is like an extra note on like what we've talked about earlier, like our vocabulary words. So Japanese does not have a universal greeting like hello. So what I mean by universal is universal in time. Like you can do it any time of the day, as long as you're like, meeting up. So hello, you can say that in the night, you can say that in the morning, you can say that in the day, you can say that in 3 a.m. You can say it anytime. But instead, the greeting is based on time. So for Japanese, like, they do use hello, like haro or like hi or like but that's like casual. It's among the younger it's among the younger like population, but like normally just like colloquially, like on the average, like using just like pure Japanese words, it's based in time. There's no like universal greeting. So it's based on the time of day, as we learned in the vocabs earlier. So for example, you can see on the right, 5 to 11 a.m. I'd say like roughly 5 to 11 a.m. Would be Ohayo. And then 11 a.m. to sundown, so it could be 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. depending on the season, but that's when you would say konnichiwa. As long as it's like pretty bright, konnichiwa. And then when the sun has gone down, so the rest of the time from like after 5 to 7 p.m. depending on the season again, like when it's like darker and all the way until like 5 a.m. in the morning, you would say konbanwa. So yeah, let me like edit this because that is all I have prepared for today. Are there like any further questions, comments, concerns? Okay. So yeah. Those of you who were in ads, I'm very sorry about that. You'll be able to see the full thing like on YouTube. When I get to uploading this. But yeah, you'll at least see the slides I have prepared, which is I'd say clear enough, but it does lose a lot of the extra context I add. So I will be uploading this on YouTube. I will also save this as a VOD and publish this on Twitch. I don't know how Twitch VODs work in terms of ads. Like, are they like? Yeah, I don't know how that exactly works, but hopefully it's not too bothering. But yeah, I do have a Quizlet made, so I will share that with you guys. So yeah, this is like a vocab Quizlet, so if you want to like quiz yourself on like words, mind you, I did not add in the Romaji reading in it, so who knows, like. But that's exactly why you should watch my first Japanese lesson, because I teach you how to read it. And you won't even need Romaji because I sound it out for you. Because I feel like Romaji is kind of a bad way to learn hiragana and katakana, because you're equating the English sounds to the what's essentially like Japanese sounds, and English does not really sound Japanese, you know? Like, we don't have like the same pronunciations as them. It's slightly different. So yeah, Romaji in general not the best way to learn. It's a great like starting point, but yeah, like for stuff like tsu doesn't really like, nobody really says tsu in English. It's even tsunami is tsunami, so like it completely forgets about the T. But yeah, that's just my philosophy on like learning hiragana and katakana. But yeah, it's better to just learn by sound and like mimic that sound. Yeah. My streams might not be the best because my mic quality is like horrible, so you can search that on YouTube, like other people's like contents on YouTube if you want to. But yeah, I think mine explains like a lot, like the histories behind it, so it's very interesting for like the history buffs. Yeah, this one's shorter than I thought. But yeah, any questions, comments, concerns? If not, I will be taking questions on Discord. Like, you can ask me later on. I'll answer it to the best of my abilities, but that is it for now. I will be rating someone. I just need to find that someone to raid. I would stream to like 6 p.m, but like nah, like that, it's just way too long to do that. Like, my throat is already dried up. Yeah, no problem. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned a lot of Nihongo. Not built for marathoning yet? I mean, like, not really. Like, I do it, but not really good at it. let's see. I'll put the raid message here. I will be streaming again tomorrow. One day you'll be able to do a 9-hour stream. Yeah, maybe if I'm not talking. Maybe if I'm like, if I shut up, then maybe. But for now, it's impossible. Impossible for me. No mic, just vibes. Exactly. So, here's my socials if you aren't already following them. Here's my Discord if you're not already in it. I will be posting the link to my slides, and then I'll also be posting the Quizlet link in there. So join it if you haven't. And yeah, we'll be raiding into Acidic Choco, who is an artist. So yeah, they're doing an art stream right now. So yeah. Thank you everyone for watching. Arigatou gozaimasu. I will be streaming tomorrow at hopefully 11 a.m. Hopefully. But I think I'll do a I'll do a something stream. I'll do a Katawa Shoujo stream. That's what I mean. Ooh, you know them too? Yeah. I've raided into them before. I like their art style, so yeah, we'll be raiding into Acidic Choco. Please be nice to them. Of course, I don't really need to tell y'all, right? Anyways, thank you, everyone, for watching. Mite kureta arigatou. I'll be doing another teaching stream next week, probably. Yeah, bye guys!